Hey you guys, welcome to Melissa Valentine's Nursery. If you don't know me, my name is Melissa. And so I worked last night and I decided, let me do a video. I was texting Sandra, I was texting with Dallas, a little bit with Janet, not much, but I was like, you know what? So, hey Sandra. Sandra's talking about cat, dog, drugs, whatever. All right. So anyway, you guys, this is my portrait baby of my son, Joseph. He is just adorable. But yes, I was talking to Sandra and I was like, if I'm going to do a video, I need to do it now. So here we are. And I was like, what are we going to talk about? Because I don't like to just like, yeah, there's been times I've got on here and I was just like, whatever. But I really want to like bring something to people, right? Educate. And me and Sandra got onto the topic of Happy Mail. Happy Mail. If you have not watched Sandra's most recent video, she talks about etiquette and box openings, how we pay so much for our little bunkas. And, you know, sometimes the box openings are less than par. But I keep looking at him. Last night was a little rough. I mean, lately at work, it's been crazy. I'm not even going to talk about it. But anyway, I wanted to go to bed with Joseph. I wanted to put him in my bed because Joey, my grown Joseph, this is my portrait baby of my son. My grown Joseph is actually at school right now. But I said, you know, me and Sandra were kind of talking. And I was like, okay, let's talk about Happy Mail. You know, a lot of people in the doll community love to send Happy Mail. I think I'm going to change him into this. This is what he came with the other day. It is a Gerber newborn. Let me put him down. Like this, okay? If you've seen the box opening. And then I'm probably going to put him in his sleep sack. Oh, he's got a hat. I may not use the hat, but I'll put him in his sleep sack. And I'm going to move over just a little bit so you guys can see. Hold on, I got things behind me. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, you know, in the doll, let's see. How can I do this? Ooh, we don't want to see the ring light in the television. Let's bring it down just a tad so you can see. Let me tighten it. Oh, no, that's the other way. Okay. So, in the doll community, people love to send Happy Mail, which is wonderful. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But you know, me and Sandra was actually talking about it. And you guys know I always inspect my babies while I'm changing them. I always do. Because I fear rub off and I don't want that to happen to my little bunkas, right? You know, we have good intentions when we send people Happy Mail. And yes, we should be grateful that we have friends that are willing to send us lovely gifts, right? But within the past couple of years, now I don't think I'm too bad, you guys. You know, I just don't like stripes. Stripes is the one, because it's like prison. You know what I'm saying? It's like prison. You know, I don't want stripes. That's what I think of when I see stripes. I think of prison. But the funny thing is when Joe was little, like, I didn't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think about it. I didn't give a thought. But I do now. And that's just like the way we think, you know? And so when you send people Happy Mail, it's very important, you know, to know what they do like. Because you want your receiver to be happy. And yeah, you know, no matter what you guys send, I've always been grateful. I've always like tried it out on my babies. Even if I wasn't especially fond of the gift or whatever, you know, I would put it up just to try it out because you never know. Like my little William is wearing a striped sloth sweater. And yeah, it's stripes, but I love sloth. So it kind of like cancels, you know. You know, do the math, it cancels and it all works out. So I want to put a onesie on him or something. So I'm going to get up real quick and I'm going to find like a onesie in here. I know I've got one. Just, let's see. But a lot of people don't think about that as far as, what people really want to put on their babies. I just need something simple. This is soft. This is real soft. And it's got patterns, but I think it's going to be okay. Copper Pearl Newborn. I don't even know where I got this, but it's so nicely. It feels nice. So that's something to consider when you guys send gifts to your Reborn folks. Whoever you enjoy, whether it's me or somebody else, is it going to be something that they will put their babies in? Is it like, of course they will, but like, is it going to be something that they're going to enjoy putting their babies in? Now this is newborn. Is this running small or something? Or is it just me? It's okay, little Joey. I won't swing your head around too much. You made it to 19. No issues. So, that's something to consider. I'm not fond of yellow. Maybe small little bits. I prefer mustard yellow, actually, to the bright yellows, This baby is everywhere. I should have actually just got like a table. That would have been easier. But look, his legs are, all over the place. But we mean well when we send happy mail. But we have to remember, do we know our YouTube influencer well enough? Or maybe you're just sending a friend happy mail. Do we know our friend enough to not send them stripes or, anything that they may not care for on their babies? I didn't even bring a drink in here. I mean, I could pause it and go get one, but, forget about it. I'll do it later. I'll live. I'll survive. I don't need a drink every minute of the day. So that's something to consider. Now, something else to consider is I have pets. I am a smoke-free, like nobody smokes in my house. Nobody smokes outside my house. I have said that Sam has smoked, but me and Sam went on a break. But that's beside the point. But when he did, it wasn't here. So my babies are smoke-free babies, So when you guys sell your babies, you really need to disclose that. And that goes with your happy, like, don't send happy, if like, I'm not a smoker and Sandra is not a smoker. And a lot of people who are not smokers, they don't want to smell the smoke on their stuff, Even if you think you washed it. Let me tell you a story. I used to love to go to the library. If I had time, I would still love to go to the library. But I've got Kindle and, things like that, that I can just read electronically. So, but as far as the library, once upon a time ago, I went and got a book. And, I don't care if people are smokers or not. But when it comes to cuddling up with a book, like, I don't want to cuddle up to someone's cigarettes. That's not getting cozy with a book for me. Oh, he's so cute. But I want the sleeves to go up a little bit. So, like, some people, they don't like the zipper to do this. I don't really care. To me, my thing is stripes. Stripes really grinds my gears. What is it? Who says that? Oh my God. Brian the dog. Family Guy. You know what really grinds my gears? That's what he says. Anyway, I love Family Guy. And I love Bob's Burgers. I don't watch them enough, but you know what I'm saying. We put this baby in a sleep sack because we're going to sleep with the sack on you, buddy boy. Now, you know, when it comes to happy mail, you know, this goes both ways. Like, so to the person sending, do you have a smoke-free home? Do you have pets? That's something to consider. Are your pets around all your items? I used to let my pets in this room, and it's very selective. Like, it's rare that they come in here. Like, I would have to come in here and quickly be doing something and then accidentally leave the door open and one of the cats follow me in. Because I do have that little baby kitten I have. She follows me everywhere. I'm surprised her paws aren't under the door right now. Oh, little baby kitten. Yes. So he looks so cozy. Doesn't he? He looks so cozy, you guys. So let me see something. I want to see if I had a toothbrush, but I don't know. Maybe in this bag right here. This is the one I took. No, it's friggin' toys. I think I cleaned it out last. It just has toys. You know, those are things to consider. You know, some people might fear, you know, some people do have like general, maybe they've had bad experiences in the past. So, you know, maybe they fear things like the items coming from someone's house, a personal home, and it's smelling like cigarette smoke, or it has animal hair, you know. I've sent Sandra my own hair accidentally in a box, but she didn't care. She didn't care, you know. She's my girl. But if I would have sent her a Jack hair, Jack is my my dog, she probably would have been like, you know, she's not a big fan of animals. You know, or, you know, you never know. Maybe people fear like having boxes with, I don't know, people are not as clean as your standard. Maybe your standard of living is different. And maybe people fear that, you know, they'll get bugs or a roach might pop up in the box or something like that. And that's something, you know, people have legitimate fears, and a lot of them stem from past experiences. So that's something we have to consider. You know, if I'm a smoker with animals, I may say, well, you know, if I give Happy Mail, maybe I want to directly ship it from Amazon or Walmart or Carter's or what have you. You know, things to consider like that. Now, me and Sandra, we have been giving each other packages through and through, like personal from our homes. But we have realized through these years of doing this that now we're getting to a point where we're like, you know what, let's just ship it from Amazon because it'll save us with the shipping. So we do that. And me and her really appreciate when people do that because, you know, we have our close friends and I get it. That's cool. I'm cool with that. But like when you have the occasional, now I think I'm a little more lenient because, you know, I do have standards of cleanliness, you know. Me and Sandra talked about our standards of cleanliness the other day. But like, she has no animals. Absolutely none. And the woman is like, keeps her place, like, as far as germs, like pristine. I'm a nurse, you know, and I understand germs. But I think that Sandra is a one-upper. She's a one-upper when it comes to the germ thing. But by all means, you know, you guys have seen my nursery. You guys have seen parts of my house. You know, I don't live in a hoarder's house. And if you do live in a hoarder's house and you feel good about it, go you know. But, you know, this doesn't work for everybody. You know, not everybody wants to be in a situation like that. You know, so if you're an influencer, a YouTube influencer, right? Do you want to rather receive your packages directly from someone's house in a large, in a box, or would you rather receive straight from the store? Is there, how do you feel about receiving Happy Mail? And, even as like friends within the doll community, I'm sure that many of you correspond sideways, and you're not a YouTuber. Like what I mean by sideways is, with Dallas and Janet, I'm going to get to know them at the doll show, and who knows, you guys both don't have YouTube channels per se, but that are shooting videos out, but you guys probably correspond, like you guys cross conversate, now me, Carla, Sandra, Reborn, Hattie, Beth, we all are YouTube influencers, but and I'm sure maybe like subscribers, I keep calling it sideways, parallel, whatever. Maybe you guys send each other gifts and stuff, There's nothing wrong with getting to know one another, because we're all from like the same, like, you know what I'm saying? We're all here because we get along and we feel similar, and we enjoy our box openings together, our Happy Mail. We bond over babies. And you guys see us open up our babies, and we share about our artist, the artists we prefer. We talk about, different things like how expensive the hobby is getting, So, and we may even get on here and talk about like our life, our kids, our hopes, dreams, desires, things like that. The YouTube community has been great in many ways. We all share the hobby in different ways. So, me and Sandra were talking about this morning through texting, and, we were like, she asked me, how do you prefer your Happy Mail? Now, I don't mind, to be honest. I'm not fond of smoking smells. Even if Sandra mentioned that, like, oh, my grandfather or dad smokes in the den and he doesn't leave the den with cigarettes. It doesn't matter, because to a non-smoker, we could smell it on things like crazy. Like, we could smell it like none other. Like, we pick up on it, And the thing is, when you get something like that, it's like gross to us. You may like to smoke. I used to smoke back in the day. I've smoked things back in the day, but as a grown, mature adult, like, I wouldn't want that lingering on my clothes, my dolls, anywhere in my house, like, I don't really know of any smokers aside from, when Sam, but like, other than that, nobody in my family smokes. I had one uncle who smoked, and he passed away. But other than that, like, and if you're a smoker, that's fine, but at least disclose that stuff. I am not a smoker, so I would not kindly accept gifts from people's home that smoke. And I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. But like animals, I am a very animal-friendly home. My dog, my cats may not be in my doll room, but they're in the other room. And I'm not going to lie, listen, there's been a cat hair or two in this room. I've seen it, airflow. It's the house has all the same vents, it's all the same air conditioning system, all the same heating system. Hair will flow in here, whether or not there's a dog or a cat. And I love animals. If I didn't go into like being a nurse for humans, it would be animals. It would be animals through and through. Because I love animals. I love dogs. I love cats. I have chickens, if you don't know. And I heard you, Jason. Jason, you hear me? Jason, Sandra's husband. If there was a way I could send you some of my hen's eggs, I would. If you could figure it out, let me know. I'll send you some fresh chicken eggs. I got brown ones. I've got like turquoise green ones from my Easter egger. So I don't know, Jason. I haven't figured it. I don't even know if you could send eggs like that. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe you could, but it probably costs more than just buying them. I was listening to that when Jason chimed in on Sandra's last video. But I'm very open to people sending me Happy Mail whether or not it's from their house or whatever. But you got to kind of respect the person who may not smoke or whatever. I love getting brand new stuff from Amazon Carter's. I love certain prints from Kate Quinn. I love soft clothes. Sandra got me into it. What was that thing that I have on him? I forgot what it's called already. Sandra, I forgot what it's called. Hold on, I don't want to ruin his hair. Pearl. What's it called? Copper Pearl. That stuff. Listen, this is like his onesie's Copper Pearl, but I think the Sesame Street, we had a Sesame Street onesie, and I think I passed it along to somebody. But let me tell you, that was Copper Pearl, and it was soft. I love soft stuff. I think I just spit on you guys. I'm sorry. It wasn't an offensive spit. And you guys, look, there's an eyelash. That's not a dog hair. That's an eyelash. That's another thing, you guys. I welcome all happy mail, but if you're like a random individual, I don't have a P.O. box, so it gets kind of scary until you get to know somebody, but like I've gotten to know Janet. I've took the plunge with many people and got to know them. Janet and Sandra, I've gotten to know her real good. Me and her, we cut jokes about one another and stuff, but it's not like we're not intentionally hurting each other. And then with Dallas, like since I've gotten to know her last year, she's awesome, you guys. She is awesome. Carla, like all those folks, and then Heather, I'm going to see Heather at the doll show. Heather, I don't even know what you look like, girl. Send me a photo of you and the babies. Let me know let me know who I'm looking for when I meet you. Because I've corresponded with her, so, but yeah, you guys, if you were an influencer, if you were a YouTuber, how would you feel about this? You're usually the viewer is the sender, right? But if you were the YouTuber, how would you feel about, I feel like his neck is like, poltergeist. How would you feel about this if you were a YouTuber? This outfit makes him look husky. That's all right, because he's going to be really comfortable with me. And I feel better with him being in this. Because I feel like when I'm laying in bed, like I'll put the babies, if they're not in the cradle, I'll put them on the other side of the bed. And once in a while, if I turn over, sometimes I put them next to me, but like sometimes I'll put a pillow perpendicular. So when I turn over, I can literally see like head to toe, like their full front, And sometimes when I turn, I may like hit their foot, and I get crazy because like I don't want rub off on my babies. Like sometimes it's inevitable. Sometimes you can't help it, But I try to avoid it at all costs. I really do. This is such a cutie pie. Yes. Everybody who got new babies this week, I hope y'all been enjoying them. It's been a beautiful, beautiful thing. I worked my butt off last night, and I made a smash burger, and then I made like keto chips with like cheese. It didn't work. I mean, it was all right. I don't think I would do it again unless I was like hard up for something like that. I tried to make homemade like Doritos from the cheese. But if anybody has any like keto snack ideas, not too much of dirty keto, but from those days, like Joey made chocolate chip cookies keto, and they were pretty good, but I liked the sugar cookies he made better. But then I gained 2 pounds, and I was like, Joe, this almond flour shit's not working for me, because you got to make it with almond flour. But I know I love taking heavy whipping cream and cream cheese and some stevia and making like a whipped cream cheese, like a whipped cheesecake pudding, and then I put whipped cream on the top. Man, I love that stuff. But let me tell you, dairy halts me with weight loss, like it always has, especially keto. That's why I never liked keto, because I love dairy, like except milk. I don't drink milk, but I never drank milk. But I don't know. I just figured, that was a good topic. I didn't want my shit to be too long, you know? So, and I want to thank everybody who's ever sent me Happy Mail, you know? I really appreciate it, especially with like postal prices. It went up. Like it used to be $24 and change to send a large flat rate priority box. Cause like that's the standard box for sending reborns. If you have a reborn that's like usually less than 3 months, people use a large flat rate. I don't even know if you could put a bigger baby in that. I don't know, but I do know all my babies, cause you know, I got babies came in a large flat rate priority. And they squish them in there, you know. That's like the standard, but it used to be $24. Now, let me tell you something that really grinds my gears. Let me tell you. Not Family Guy. Yeah, Family Guy. I'm going to tell you what really grinds my gears. When I went on reborns.com, because I have been up and down reborns.com and McPherson's like crazy this weekend. And I noticed a lot of artists, not only are you charging, overpricing your shit, but shipping $50? Really? Because last time I went, a large flat rate was $28. I'm talking about within the United States. That like, I said, are you for real? I've seen a few like that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I bet you they had like a shitty box opening. I don't know. I'm just saying, hey, I'm stating the facts. The facts are the facts. $50 for somebody who has sent plenty of babies and received plenty of babies? You full of shit. But I will say I have seen the artists on there with free shipping. You know, for me, a lot lately, like the thing I've been doing when I do sell babies, I figure, you know what? They're basically, you know, you guys are paying what you pay for the babies. It is what it is. I can afford to send a baby box for $28. You know, if someone's paying me $300 or $400 for a baby, I can afford the $28. That's why I'll normally say, $350 shipped or something, you know? Because I figure, you know what, you know, just like Sandra was saying, some of these artists, you know, they charge like $500, $600, $700, $800, you know? And, you know, I was listening to the facts about her. If you go back to her video, she talks about some artists might want to just like consider maybe going to Walmart, spending $7, $14 on some clothes for the baby, something new. Especially if you're making $800, $900. Now, I do understand supply. I understand the cost of supply. But especially if you're charging shipping, like the ones I've seen for $50 on reborns.com, you should take some of that $50, some of that $50, and go buy a couple outfits from Walmart. You know, I'm not calling anybody out specific only because like, and Sandra says, oh, I'm not talking about anybody specific. But like, no, I'm not calling, I really am not. Like, I'm just saying, I seen it. I don't even remember who it was. There was a few people charging $50 for shipped. Now, with that being said, that's the end of that. If you've been watching me a while, you know that I have been having nightmares, but I haven't had nightmares in a while. Honestly, I've just been having weird, awkward dreams. And I had a dream yesterday. I had a dream that I was like at this place. I don't know if it wasn't like where I lived. It was like a cross between like a hospital, like institutionalized, like a hospital, and a hotel room, you know, like a really homey hotel room. And I was there and I had the TV on and it was like WWE. And I don't watch that shit. I'm not interested in that. And I normally watch documentaries. If you're going to watch TV with me, you better get ready to watch like a documentary about like astronomy, Victorian times, how it's made, things like that. Okay. So WWE. And I went to lower the TV. I don't know why I didn't just fucking turn it off. No, I lowered it and it went right back up. And I lowered it again and it went right back up. And you could hear, you know, whatever, all the crazy, you know, stuff. Hey, Swirl Gang. She just actually commented on a video on YouTube. She caught me. It is, let's see if you can remember when you did it. It's 10:20 Eastern Time, a.m. March 11th. Anyway, so the TV went back up, like the volume went back up, and I lowered it back down. I went back up, and I said, what the fuck? So then like somebody, I don't know who it was, some dude, I don't know who it was, came in the room and was like, I got this. He shut it off. And there was a baby I'm eyeing, that I've been eyeing, that's been on REBORNS.com for a while. It is the only baby that I have been eyeing. And I'm not going to say where, who, what, because I want that baby price to go down. So there's a baby I've been eyeing, and I've been wanting the price to go down. And I'm not going to ask the artist to make it go down. In fact, somebody did, and there was an automatic response saying it's not nice to do that to your artist or some bullshit. Anyway, I mean, you know, I'm waiting. The baby's been up there a while. And I thought the baby's price dropped, because it's like a $700 baby. I thought the price dropped a couple hundred in my dream. So I was sitting on my iPad looking at reborns.com, and the fella sits down. I don't know face. I don't know. Slender person. I don't know who this person was. They're like, it's okay. I got you. I shut the TV off. He shut the TV off. And he sits beside me, and I'm not really paying attention to him, right? Typical, right? For me, I don't pay attention to much shit. And I'm on reborns.com, you know, like we do. And we're like, you know, and the price went down. That same Reborn that I have been looking at, the price went down. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get this baby before somebody else does. I got to get this baby. And he said, you know what? Just get it. I got you. Just get it. So I was like, okay. And I was so excited. So then I woke up to pee. And like in real life, like I woke up from this dream. This was like 5:30 yesterday evening. March 10th, if you want to be exact. Oh my God, Joey's calling me. But I'll have to call him back in a little bit. What time? I can't even see what time it is. But anyway, so when I woke up, I went to use the bathroom. I went back on my bed and I said, you know what? I'm going to go to that baby and I'm going to see if the price dropped, right? I want to see if the price dropped. You know, wishful thinking. I went to the baby and the baby was the same price. And I was like, ah. Now, even if the price dropped, like I don't have the money for this baby, but it was just like my curiosity piqued. And I was like, because I do like that sculpt. Painted gorgeously. And it's a sculpt I've had before, and I rarely go back. Like the only sculpt I went back to was Ruby. And I'm kind of done with Ruby. I wanted Ruby. I got a Ruby. I passed a Ruby along. I got another Ruby. I was in love with Ruby, but I moved her on. Like you kind of like get it out of your system with certain sculpts. Because I did want Ruby for a while. I seen Rita who has emailed me. Rita H. I don't want to, reveal too much. But she has a Ruby boy, I believe. And ever since then, I've always wanted a Ruby. So I got the Ruby thing out of my system. But then I had this other sculpt and loved that baby to death. But the hair was painted, and I'm going away from that. All my babies have to have rooted hair. Well, this particular baby I had with painted hair, but I found the little bunko with rooted hair, and he's adorable. It's so adorable. But the price didn't go down. So I was laying in bed, and I told Joey the story, and Joey's like, oh my God, Ma, it's a friggin' hobby. It's expensive. Then he starts talking about investments, and I was like, all right. And I went back to sleep. But, sometimes like you have these dreams and you know that maybe these dreams are like, the dream was not scary by no means. But like, like I've been on McPherson's and I've been on reborns.com for days now. And that one baby has been on my mind for months. And, me and Sam's on a break, and, maybe just, my mind, I'm not having nightmares, but, Sandra's like, oh, that's your GABA. It's a GABA dream, gabapentin dream. Because my gabapentin is to prevent nightmares. That's what my physician told me. She said, Melissa, for your nightmares, I believe the gabapentin will help you for, nightmares and anxiety. And, I always thought of it for like diabetics, like, for neuropathy and stuff. But apparently they use gabapentin for a lot more than I thought. You know, as nurses, we don't always know everything. And it's very true. As nurses, doctors, I'm sorry, you don't know everything. You don't know everybody's story. The best thing you can do is listen to your patients and everything that you're trying to help. Listen and see their side, because the world is not cookie cutter. And in healthcare, because we have licenses to protect nurses, doctors, nurse practitioners, physicians, assistants, because we have those licenses to protect, we become cookie cutter and very, you know, red tape. But I feel like there's those exceptions with certain people, and Sandra talks about this. If you really listen to them and you can justify their case with giving them something they actually need and not letting the few who screwed it up and abused medications to destroy their chance of something they need. And that's the best way that I can put it as a healthcare worker. And I've seen it. You know, I've seen people who really needed things not be able to get it. And then I've seen people who, you know, I'm not even going to say. It's sick. But that's all I'm going to say about that, you know? Because everybody's a different case, you know? Everybody's a different case, and the world is not a cookie cutter place, and neither are patients cookie cutter. And you have to look at it, you know, healthcare people, workers have their license to protect. But then, you know, they really also need to find out what their patient has to say and say, okay, I can justify this so that I can give them what they need, you know, even though it's kind of a little more extreme than I would have liked to go, but this will help them. And here is my justification, because everything's documented in healthcare, you know. I don't even know. I just went there. I went there, you guys. He is so fucking adorable. He's so adorable. He's so adorable. Like, I was talking to Dallas earlier, and I told her my night was a little rough. And she said, pick up your baby Joseph and love on him. And I said, yeah, I just have to be really careful because Joseph's still not cool with the idea. So Joseph will come in my room and like spend time with me. So I have to be very tactful how I go about this baby. But like out of all my babies, like this one tops the cake, because this one is like, it brings me back, you know, like, was it Carla I was talking to? She was telling me how pretty the baby was. It had to be Carla, because she was saying she's got quite a few kids and it's hard. On Reborns, one of her children, she had seen a Reborn on reborns.com resemble one of her kids. Because I said I have never seen any Reborn on reborns.com resemble my Joey. But she had all those chances. You know, she's got all these kids. I think one, like I think it was a son or something, was, you know, there was a reborn.com baby that resembled that child. But she was like, it's really hard to kind of like exactly remember what your babies look like, you know, like, but like I've only had one. And I can remember seeing him in NICU, right? Now, mind you, Joseph is biracial. Who is that? Sherry Leffler. Thanks, Leffler. Am I saying that right? Anyway, thanks for the comment. I don't even know what you just said, but it came down on my phone. But I could remember, you know, I never had a biracial baby. We've never had one in the family. And when everybody had babies, yeah, the babies were like sort of olive tone, olive skin. They weren't like that white, like fair skin like you see, like, you know, a lot of redhead kids have and stuff. So when I seen Joey, I remember in NICU, well, I was too tired to give a shit when I first had, if you heard my birth story, I was too tired. But like, I remember seeing him in NICU and just looking at his coloring and, you know, my mom was like, Melissa, did you sleep with an Indian? Did you, because the baby, and the nurse kept saying he's going to grow into himself. Because my mom was like, that's not an African American baby. And I was like, Mom, yes, it is, and she questioned me. She was like, you sure it wasn't like Indian or something? And I was like, no. And the nurse was like, no, the babies, like, they usually have darker fingers and darker forehead, and they grow into them, and they're so adorable. And I remember staring at him being like, he is so cute. He is so adorable. Like, his coloring and everything is just beautiful, like caramel. Like, I could remember, and I was like, how gorgeous. I could remember that because that was the first time that I had, seen anything like that, and I just thought it was like beautiful. And then my nephew, Noah, was born. White as white out. I still love him. He's cute baby. But like, I was used to Joey, and I've never, it was just, I've never seen a baby with like color to their skin, and I was just in awe. And I think that's why I could remember a lot of me envisioning him. I could remember NICU. I could remember the smell in NICU. I could remember that like hospital scent. Like there was a certain smell in NICU, and it wasn't like shit or nothing, like a lot of baby shit. And it was just like this like clean, sterile, like environment. I have these moments from when I was in the hospital, because I only was in the hospital once to have a baby, but I have these like moments where I could remember I was at the hospital. It was one long hallway. It was a one long hallway. Joey was born. The room we were in before and after birth was room 444 on the 4th floor. And that was right by the elevators. I think there was like 440, 442, and then 444. Something like that. And it was right by the elevators when you come on that floor. And after I had him and he was in NICU was all the way on the opposite end of the hall. And you had to pass all these rooms and the nurse's station and then continue to go down. And it was such a long walk, but I had staples in my stomach from the C-section. And and in my video, when I opened him up, I didn't tell you that the only reason like it was an emergency C-section and he didn't descend is because the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck a couple times. So when he was born, he was blue. He was blue at first, and he wasn't really crying. But seeing him in NICU, like, I just remember like staring at him and just being in awe, because my pregnancy wasn't what, it wasn't typical. Like, I had health issues and during my pregnancy, and the father didn't stick around, and it was a rough time for me, a rough adjustment period. And then just to see him so this baby brings back those memories for me. I don't have any other births to compare it to. And I feel like I just remember staring at him and his forehead and his lips, because his lips, he has his biological father's lips, like completely. But it's just, it just takes you back. And that was, Joey's going to be 19 on the 19th of this month. And it's just crazy, how fast time goes. Like, we may complain about certain things our kids do and moments that they piss us off and drive us crazy. But then one day they're going to be 19 years old and talking to you about their future and their future goals. And they're going to be wearing deodorant and buying razors. Joey buys his own deodorant, his own razors, to shave and everything. He buys his own soaps. I don't buy any of that for him. And it's just like a whole different thing now, He's at school. He's in college. He's at college right now. He's on his sophomore year of college. And, 5 5 more years can be completely different than today. You know, he can move out next year. I don't see him doing that, but he could. You know, this little girl who annoys me could be coming around. And I say little girl loosely. I know he's 19. Of course, he's going to get with someone 19, 20. But if he does, study. Study, stay in school. Don't do nothing stupid. But, you know, it's just time flies, you know. And I didn't realize how fast it was going to go. You know, 1 minute, you're 22 years old, looking at your newborn son. And the next minute, you're 41 years old with a 19-year-old. And you're like, damn, where did the time go? You know, and a lot of that time I spent going to school full-time and working full-time. And then when I got done with my full-time schooling, I was working full-time and homeschooling him. And I feel like all that made time just go so fast, you know? But like I've told you guys before, I'm proud of him. I am proud of him. Okay, you guys. Hey, we're 46 minutes in. I'm sorry. I can't do a 2-hour video like Sandra. Sandra, you got me beat. But I did talk about happy mail and, you know, preferences and, you know, respecting the person who's going to receive it and, you know, things like that. And then I just started talking about Joey. So, you guys, like, subscribe, comment, share. If you have any memories or something that is bittersweet, you know, something that you want to talk about in the comments, I'm all for it. I'm not the best at answering comments right away, you know, because let's face it, I got in today at 9 o'clock. By 12, I'm in bed. So that leaves me 3 hours to eat something. Because usually I get home at 8, but today was 9. It gives me time to eat something, take a shower, lay in bed for an hour and fall asleep. And I even, you know, did almost an hour video for you guys. So you have to remember, like, I don't always have time to respond right away. And that goes for emails too. But, you know, Cindy Howe, listen, she you know, she'll tell you, I may not respond right away, but Melissa's going to respond at some point. And lately, if you've been like connecting with me on Facebook Messenger, I think I've been doing pretty good. I haven't been able to talk for a long time, but I've been pretty quick at it, let me tell you. But I just think he's so sweet. And he's got his sleep sack and he's got his vintage passy like that he once had, you know. It's just so sweet. So sweet. All right, you guys. Share your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, tell your family. And until next time, I love you all.